Welcome to Module 7, Section 5 of your B2 Residential Remodeling Contractor Exam Prep course. In this lesson, we'll focus on estimating labor, materials, and equipment costs, an essential skill for staying profitable, competitive, and in control of your remodeling projects. Whether you're preparing a bid for a new kitchen remodel, planning a bathroom renovation, or coordinating multiple trades across a full home update, knowing how to estimate accurately is at the heart of your success as a contractor. It ensures you don't underbid and lose money, or overbid and lose the job. Let's begin by understanding what estimating really means. An estimate is a calculated projection of what it will cost you to complete a specific scope of work, broken down into the major cost categories of labor, materials, equipment, overhead, and profit. For B2 contractors, this is especially important because your license allows you to manage projects with multiple trades. Each of those trades involves specific labor rates, materials, and tools. A solid estimate helps you stay within budget, schedule jobs properly, and build trust with your clients by delivering exactly what you promised. Start with the scope of work. Every estimate must be based on a clearly defined and agreed-upon scope. The more detailed the scope, the more accurate the estimate. If the scope is vague or changing, the estimate becomes guesswork. Begin by listing every task required to complete the project, from demolition to cleanup. Identify what trades are involved, what work each trade will perform, and whether you'll self-perform that work or subcontract it out. This will shape both your labor and material estimates. Next comes labor. Labor costs are often the largest portion of a remodeling job. You need to calculate how many hours each task will take and what the hourly cost will be. If you're using employees, that includes wages, payroll taxes, insurance, and any benefits. If you're using subcontractors, it includes the amount they charge you for their scope of work. For example, if you're remodeling a bathroom and bringing in a licensed plumber to install new fixtures, you need to know how many hours they'll need and what they charge per hour or per project. Use historical data, vendor quotes, or unit cost guides to estimate labor hours accurately. Always add a buffer for potential delays, learning curves, or unexpected complications. Now let's talk materials. Every task in your scope should have a corresponding list of materials. That includes lumber, drywall, insulation, paint, tiles, fixtures, adhesives, fasteners, and so on. Be as specific as possible. For instance, don't just list paint, specify the brand, type, finish, quantity, and color. Use supplier quotes, product catalogs, or online tools to price each material. Always account for waste, overage, and delivery costs. If you're ordering 100 square feet of tile, you may need to buy 110 to allow for cuts and breakage. Also, check whether local codes require special materials, such as low VOC paints or energy-efficient windows, as these may carry higher costs. Equipment is the third major category. This includes any tools, machines, or rentals needed to complete the job, whether it's a tile saw, scaffolding, a demolition hammer, or a specialty lift. If you own the equipment, you may just factor in wear and tear or maintenance. If you're renting, you need to calculate the full rental cost, including delivery and pickup. Don't forget to include the cost of operating the equipment, such as fuel or blade replacements, and whether any special training or safety measures are required. Once you've calculated labor, materials, and equipment, you can move on to overhead and profit. Overhead refers to your ongoing business expenses that aren't directly tied to a single job. Things like office rent, vehicles, marketing, licensing fees, software, and insurance. These costs need to be spread across all of your jobs. A typical approach is to apply a percentage markup to each estimate, usually in the range of 10% to 20% to cover overhead. Profit is what you want to make after all costs are paid. This can also be a percentage markup, typically ranging from 10% to 30%, depending on the job size, complexity, and your market. Your total estimate should now include a detailed breakdown showing labor, materials, equipment, overhead, and profit. Present it in a professional format, whether it's a spreadsheet, estimating software, or a formal bid document. Transparency builds trust with clients, and a clear estimate can help reduce disputes later on. It's also a powerful internal tool for tracking your job progress and keeping an eye on profitability. For your license exam, you'll likely encounter questions on estimating formulas, unit pricing, labor productivity, and markup calculations. You should be familiar with concepts like square footage calculations, board foot measurements, and estimating quantities from a set of plans. You may also be asked about profit margins, how to apply overhead percentages, or how to adjust your estimate based on changes in material prices or project scope. In real-world practice, your estimating skills will continue to improve over time. After each project, compare your original estimate to your actual costs. Did the labor hours match your prediction? Were the material quantities accurate? Did your equipment costs come in under or over budget? Use this feedback to refine your estimating process and improve future bids. The most successful contractors treat estimating as both a science and an art, a skill they practice constantly to stay competitive and profitable. Lastly, always remember that your estimate is part of a legally binding contract once accepted. If you miss something, underestimate a cost, or fail to specify a detail, it can cost you. That's why it's important to take your time, use reliable data, and review every estimate before submitting it. If the client changes the scope mid-project, issue a written change order with a revised estimate. Never rely on verbal agreements for changes. Put everything in writing and protect your business. To sum up, estimating is the foundation of a financially healthy contracting business. When done right, it gives you confidence in your pricing, keeps your projects on budget, and allows you to grow sustainably. As a B2 contractor managing diverse remodeling projects, your ability to estimate labor, materials, and equipment accurately will set you apart from the competition and set your business up for long-term success.